Barb Lehman was born on December 15, 1943, in Cleveland, Ohio. Her father was not there for her birth because he was in New Guinea fighting in World War II. She would not see her father until she was 2.5 years old.
My mom's name was Barbara, and my dad's name was Ray, so there was not an awful lot of originality in the family. It was a Barb and a Barb and a Ray, and so every time the phone rang, we had to ask which one.
After moving to St. Paul, Barb attended St. Leo's Catholic Elementary School.
As we were growing up, there were sports that were played around the area, just in the pickup games of baseball or basketball in the alley. I always participated in the sports. She enjoyed it and kept right up with everybody else.
Barb enjoyed playing tennis, downhill and cross-country skiing, and was a rabid golfer.
So in ninth grade, she went over to Durham Hall High School, which was located on the campus of St. Catherine's College in St. Paul, Minnesota.
Barb graduated from high school in 1961, never realizing the opportunity to play high school sports, something she was very vocal about.
Well, all through Barb's high school and college career, she talked about how there was truly an inequity in the division of the resources between the men's and the women's athletics. You know, she was in high school and college nearly a decade before Title IX finally came on the scene, and she talked about it for years ahead of time, what a wonderful thing that was going to be, and then was very pleased once it came on board. I know she had to discuss this with a lot of her colleagues, some of which did not quite approve of the idea of giving the women's athletics as much financing as they did, but it seems to have done good things over the years.
Barb did not have the outstanding academic career in high school, but a teacher encouraged her to pursue college.
There was a Mrs. Rainier in high school that encouraged her to go on to college. Initially, when Barb applied for St. Catherine's College, she was turned down, and you know, she was not always the best of students maybe in some things, but they had turned her down. And many years later, she had the letter turning her down for St. Catherine's next to her master's degree up on the wall of her office.
Barb graduated from St. Catherine's College in 1965. She moved to Colorado Springs to take her first teaching job, but
she did it only for 1 year out there. She didn't particularly like the fact that since it was a military town, the student body was turning over 70 to 80% of the student body in a year, and she just didn't really get a chance to get to know her students well.
Barb moved back to Minnesota and took a job outside working as a pool director. But in 1968, her love of teaching took her to Robbinsdale, where she would stay for the rest of her career.
I know that Barb, when she got the position in the Robbinsdale School District, she loved being with the students, she loved the teaching aspect of it, and did it seemingly pretty well over the years. I understand that she was voted the favorite teacher something like 18 years in a row in the school. So the students must have enjoyed being with her and in her classes. I think that probably along the way she realized that if you really want to affect some change and have some say in things, that you pretty much have to be the lead dog. And so I think that's when she went on and decided to try and get into the athletic director position.
Once Title IX was enacted, Barb worked hard to do all she could for women's athletics. Her work did not go unrecognized. She has been awarded many local and state awards for her work as AD.
It seemed to me like it was a matter that every other week I was going to another award ceremony for Barb.
After 34 years in the district, Barb retired from Robbinsdale Cooper in 2001. Barb passed away in September of 2010.
I'm sure that Barb would love, if she were here today, would love to be able to thank all of her friends in the MnIAAA. She had some phenomenal people in her growing up years that helped her. I'd mentioned Mrs. Rainier in high school who had encouraged her to go on to college. Mrs. Bettendorf, Evelyn Bettendorf, was a athletic director or whatever they might have been called at the time at St. Catherine's College, and had really encouraged Barb and was a mentor for Barb many years of her life. I know that Barb would have liked to have thanked some of the administrators, Mr. Grunstead and Mr. Brom in the Robbinsdale School District. She had a wonderful assistant in Christine Tammerdahl, and her friends, her lifelong friends that helped her and encouraged her and helped her even through her final years. Her friends, Barb Wiley Thompson and her friend Karen Canham and her friend Becky Fisher. People that were very close to her all years of her life, and I'm sure helped her through the good times and bad. I want to thank all those who have remembered her and who continue to remember her, not only for these awards, which are very special to all of us who knew Barb, but also thanking the school for also continuing her memory through what's known as a Tie It Teal, which is through for supporting the Minnesota Ovarian Cancer Alliance, which was an organization that was dear to her heart as she fought her battle with ovarian cancer.